Children are a gift from God. That's what my son used to say to me when he got into trouble. Dad, don't get mad. I'm God's gift to you. I'm like, son, I hate to tell you this, but actually you were re-gifted, so you better behave. My son's name is Dominic. Yes, that's a name that we already owned. Italians are very lazy when naming babies. We have 7 Marys, 5 Tonys, and a bunch of what my uncle calls Stunats. My name is Carmen. I wanted to name the baby that, and I thought, baby, I don't know, Florida's tough for Carmen. You know, up north it's a man, down here it's an old Spanish woman. You know what I'm talking about? I didn't want him to go through that. My grandmother, who I love her to death, said to me, Carmen, you got to name the baby after your father, right? I'm like, I don't know, Gram. Dad wasn't a good guy. You know what I mean? I know it's Italian tradition to name the firstborn boy after the guy that cheated on your mother, but I'm not sure about this. She's like, that's what we did for you. I said, oh, really? Grandpa Carmen cheated on you? She goes, with who? I go, I don't know, you said it. She goes, no, he didn't. I said we named you after him. And by the way, he was a saint. Of course, because he was dead. Of course he was a saint. It's a tough deal. I said, I have to talk to my wife about that because my father and my mother got divorced after the cheating. It wasn't good. It was very weird. My dad wasn't good. You know, he cheated on her, he divorced on her, he made her shave her back. It was really weird. We're Italian. There's hair everywhere. Then after the divorce, it even got weirder. I saw my mother in the driveway with this bald guy. And I said to Ma, I go, who's that? She goes, oh, you don't know? That your dad wears a toupee? I'm like, what? He lied about the hair too? And she goes, and we're getting remarried. I was 10 years old. I knew better than this. I said, Mom, why? She goes, I just said to him, you know, Dominic, if you would change. And he did. He became bald. So I guess that was good enough for her. So now I had a father I didn't like and a bald stepfather that I hated. I didn't like the man. I really did. I don't trust the guy that keeps his hair on the nightstand. I just didn't think, what are you, Liberace? What's going on here, huh? So when my grandmother said that to me, I was like, I don't know. I don't really want to name him after that. I wanted to name the baby Vinny. Vinny, right? It's a great name, right? It's a name I used in high school on a fake ID to buy beer. It's a great name. It worked for me, and I thought, well, one day the baby's going to want to buy beer. He's got an ID right here. My wife had a whole different idea. She wanted to do something ridiculous. She wanted to name him after her father, Robert. I'm like, Jesus. Don't you see what we're doing here? We need drama in the name. That's what we need. How about Vinny Robert? Then we could call him Vinny Barbarino. I would love that, huh? My dad was a bad dad, bad husband. He was a bad person. But I love my grandma. I loved her to death, right? So, when she said, will you name the baby, huh, Carmen, after your father? I was like, absolutely, Grandma. Give him the middle name, too. So law enforcement won't be confused. So instead of my son being named after a sweat hug, he's named after a deadbeat dad. Isn't that beautiful for a newborn? Yeah, well, if you love your grandma, you'll do anything for her. Plus, you know, she gave me a big fat envelope. I was like, holy shit, Grandma. It's pretty heavy. She's like, we did good at the church this week. I don't need to know how you made it, Grandma. Just very nice. For the baby. I go, okay, all right. Dominic was born in 1999, old-fashioned birth, boy or girl. There was no other choice back then. No big gender reveal. There was no blueberry blast of vaping smoke into a cloud. Just an old-fashioned nurse going, "It's a boy, right there, it's a boy." You can tell, look, see that? You see his little baby wiener? Right there, the little baby. Whoa, 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 what do you mean little baby wiener? I mean, little wiener's fine, baby wiener's fine, but little baby wiener? Does that mean below average baby wiener? What are you saying? She's like, I'm saying he's got your wife's eyes. That's all I'm saying. I was nervous because I had 2 girls first. I didn't know about this whole thing. That every part of that kid's body could be attributed to my wife except that thing. Made me nervous. I was like, maybe I should Google this. But then how do you explain to the cops and your wife that you're downloading images of little baby wieners to make sure your son's wiener is the right size? I thought about, going to another doctor to get a second opinion, but I thought, you can't bring him to a doctor that's going to be on his permanent record. It could be a pre-existing condition in the future. I don't want that. Then I thought, you know what? People bring their kids to doctors for all kinds of reasons. Stupid reasons, like ADD and peanut allergies. And that's not a big deal if you got a big baby wiener. Who cares? Oh, my kid can't eat a Snickers or Focus? So what? Look at his diaper. It's huge. Are you kidding me? I'm a good father, right? You got to check on these things. 10 fingers, 10 toes, 1 little baby wiener. At least it was there. Nothing missing on that boy until he was 4. At 4, things got crazy. He was a major athlete at 4 years old. You would see this kid on a little scooter around the house, just drifting like a NASCAR driver on this thing. I got him a scooter from Amex Rewards. If you go $15,000 into credit card debt, you get a $50 toy. It was beautiful. And then he took a pit stop in the bathroom. Standing on the scooter, and I told him, look, if you ever stand on the scooter, make sure you chock the wheels out. But he didn't listen to me. And that scooter slipped. I don't know. He was having a hard time going to the bathroom. Maybe the little wiener he couldn't find. I don't know what happened. But he hit his head on the toilet. True story. I heard the screaming. I heard the crying. I was on the couch. I didn't get up because there's a lot of screaming in my house. And finally, after hearing this high-pitched, crazy wail, ran into the bathroom. There's blood on the wall. I threw him in the tub. I hosed him down. No broken face bones, no broken head, just 4 missing teeth. 2 in the roof, 2 on the floor. Yeah, and then he just stopped crying. He just looked at me like a light bulb came on. He's like, Daddy, how much you think I'm getting from the tooth fairy? I said, Dom, this is not how we make money in the house, you know what I mean? But he did pretty good. He was getting ice cream and Pokemon and stuffed animals. He really killed it. I could see the little wheels spinning in his head. He's like, oh, if you get hurt, you get paid, huh? I was afraid he was going to be a little workers' comp fraud case. That his face would appear on a billboard. Morgan & Morgan got me Xbox for life. So I had to keep my eye on him, right? Because he was trying to get hurt. He was standing on the kitchen counter like, Dominic, get down. He's like, Dad, give me half of what it will cost you to take me to the hospital. Or I'm gonna jump right now. And I did, because he was intimidating. He had no teeth. He scared me. Even his friends had a new respect for him. I went into his bedroom. Kid sitting on the floor. I go, where's Dominic? Kid goes, who wants to know? Other kids taking the garbage out for him. I go, Dominic, that's your job. He goes, Dad, who cares how it gets done, huh? As long as it gets done, right, Pop? Huh? That's a beautiful bay window there. It would be a shame if it should break. You know what I mean, huh? He was extorting money out of me. Every week I had to give him an envelope. In a little golden book. It was very embarrassing. He would say the same thing every week. Huh? Feels a little light, Papa. You're not my best earner. Grandma would be ashamed of you. But not ashamed of Dominic. Dominic is 25 years old now. He's graduated college. He's got a job. He's got a full head of hair. He's never been married twice or even once. And he's got a father that's alive. He's going to be with him for the rest of his life as much as I can. And I hope that one day he gets married. And I'm going to see that. And maybe his wife is pregnant with a little baby boy. And my mother is alive. And says to him, Dominic, what are you going to name the baby? I hope he says, Vinny Barbarino! You guys been a great crowd. Thanks for having me, everybody. Love you. Come on, can we go for Carmen?